The Note 20 Ultra was top dog in 2020, and I even bought one for myself. But it's 2021 now, and Samsung has released the S21, S21 Plus, and the S21 Ultra. So should you buy a Note 20 Ultra in 2021? Let's find out. First up, let's talk design, which I think looks pretty dang sick. I wish that the glass back was frosted like it is on the iPhone 12 Pro, but boy is the shiny black glass sexy. Also, the aggressive screen-to-body ratio, while hardly being unique in 2021, is still breathtaking, and the unobtrusive camera cutout is the cherry on top. But what about that big-ass camera roll? Yeah, you know the one I'm talking about. Personally, I really don't mind it, and when you case this phone, it really is not a big deal. Next up, let's talk about the screen, which is good. It's very good. The 120Hz refresh rate is smooth and refreshing. Get it? Refreshing? Okay, let's forget I made that joke. Moving on. Screen brightness is top of the line and stays usable outdoors even under full sunlight. The colors are also superb. I only have one complaint about the screen. When the screen is set to 120Hz, the resolution stays stuck at 1080p, even though this is a 1440p display. I honestly don't know why Samsung did this, but to be honest, I really don't care because on a 6.9-inch screen, I honestly can't tell the difference between 1080p and 1440p. Next up is the cameras. Over the past couple of months, I have used the heck out of these cameras, and it is really good, but it has two problems. Let's talk about the good stuff first. This phone has 3 lenses, a wide, ultra-wide, and a 5x telephoto, and all 3 lenses take colorful, sharp photos. I would say the biggest strength of this camera is the sheer amount of detail it is able to capture, especially when 108 megapixel mode is turned on, which is actually pretty handy and not a gimmick. Video is also really good. I especially like the Pro Video mode, which gives you DSLR controls to a phone and allows you to max out the capabilities of this hardware. Night mode can be impressive, but it can also be over-aggressive and over-brighten photos. Enough of Mr. Nice Guy. Let's talk about the bad stuff now. The first shortcoming of this phone is portrait photography and skin tones. Portrait photos in full light don't look too bad. However, in low light, things fall apart quickly. In addition, this phone insists on making skin tones look whiter than they really are, which is pretty annoying. The second problem is zoom photography. I know what you're thinking. Doesn't this phone have an insanely good zoom camera? After all, it comes with a 5x zoom lens, which is huge for a phone. And yes, you are right, zoom photos are good, but only if you take a photo zoomed in past 5 times. Here's the problem. If you take any photo between 1x zoom and 5x zoom, a digital crop is used and the image is taken on the main sensor, not on the telephoto lens. This makes photos in this range blurrier than a phone with a 2.5x zoom lens like the iPhone 12 Pros have. This is super annoying and it can potentially be a problem. But honestly, my issues with this camera are mainly nitpicks and does not take away from the fact that the Note 20 Ultra is an amazing camera smartphone. As far as speakers go, there's only one down-firing speaker. It sounds good and can get loud, but it also gets covered up easily because there is only one, so mixed bag on that one. Next, let's talk about face recognition and the in-display fingerprint sensor. The Note 20 Ultra's optical face recognition works okay, and it's consistent in well-lit conditions. It's no Apple Face ID, but it works. However, I have to rant about the fingerprint scanner. Why did anybody think it was a good idea to put a fingerprint scanner in the screen? It's super finicky and you have to put your finger in exactly the right spot. It would have been better to leave it on the back like it is on the Galaxy Note 9. Battery life is acceptable. It gets me about 4 to 5 hours of screen on time, which unless you spend way too much time on your phone, should be enough to get you through a day. Next up is performance. This phone has 12 gigs of RAM. Yes, 12 gigs of RAM, and a Snapdragon 865 chip. This is last year's processor, but to be honest, I don't think it matters that much. It's always best to have the latest and the greatest, but this phone has done everything I've asked it to do with no problem. It can game, edit photos, edit videos, have countless apps open at the same time. Also, since this hardware is slightly outdated, you can find amazing sales and carrier deals on this phone all over the place. Let's talk about the S Pen. I like it, but I don't use it every day. However, when a phone is this expensive, I will never turn down extra features. And the S Pen is really well utilized within the operating system. The responsiveness is ridiculous. There's literally no visible lag, and editing photos on Lightroom, like YouTube thumbnails, is so nice. So, should you buy this phone? Despite my very pleasant 2 months with this monster, there's a caveat to this phone. Samsung has just released the S21, S21 Plus, and S21 Ultra phones that have newer processors and a cheaper price. So I'm going to try to make this very simple for you. I think you should buy this phone only if you can get it for $900 or below. I know this sounds like a random number, but when you consider that the Samsung S21 Plus and S21 Ultra are $1,000 and $1,200 respectively, you should probably take a look at those phones if you can't find the Note 20 Ultra on a pretty deep sale. However, if you can buy this phone for on sale, go for it. It's a great phone. Also, just to let you guys know, we have passed the 50 subscriber mark officially. And I know, before I start getting bullied down in the comments, it's a very modest start. But after putting out 32 videos, it feels really good. Also, my Tab S6 Lite review became my 5th video to pass over 1,000 views, which is actually really cool. But why don't you guys like my nerdy video about how Blu-rays are still relevant just as much? All jokes aside though, I really do appreciate the support and the subs. And if you haven't already, please do make sure to click that like and subscribe as always. It really does help me out. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.